the world is still being impacted by basically the coronavirus and, basic shit that nobody wants to listen to anymore. So, you know what, again, this is part 2 of the memes video. I wanted to basically split this into 2 parts because I had a lot to go through, and we're still going with this shit, unsurprisingly. So, hopefully, like I said before, these 2 videos do contain a lot of spoilers for any kind of lists or anything like that might come up in the future. So if you don't want anything, really spoiled, then I suggest you turn off the video right now and, have a nice day with yourself. But for those people who don't want anything spoiled, or do want stuff spoiled, here's another memes basic video. So the next meme I want to talk about, because I wanted to do this in the other part, because this is not the second time I'm doing this, unfortunately. So the next meme that I have is it was a blank Five Nights at Freddy's 2 custom night map. So basically it was the 1020 mode, but there were no animatronics there, no nothing. So yeah, I guess I'm gonna have to talk about this one and why I'm doing this. So if you guys are unaware, which you all are pretty much unaware of, I actually was considering doing this at one point, but again, I'm not a good game designer or game programmer or anything like that, so the game would have been shit. But I wanted to make a remake of Five Nights at Jurassic World, which was already a shitty game in its own right. It was difficult as hell. Like, it was no fucking point to it. But the thing is that I wanted to change the story up. And I'm not going to go into too many details about this custom game, if you will. It would be something similar to, like, Five Nights at Wario's, if you want to get a good gist of the story that I wanted to create with the game series here. So, I wanted to remake Five Nights at Jurassic World, but the characters, in a sense, I was like, they're fucking dinosaurs, I get it, but I'm like, how can we make this how can we make this so that it's like, Five Nights at Freddy's with the possessed children, which, due to recent lore, that's not even going to be a thing anymore. Oh my god. That's what's going to be so annoying about that. I'm going to do this as a side note. I'm sorry. I want to rant about this. So, if you haven't read the new books, the new horror books that came out, there's this section in these books where they talk about how Remnant works in the FNAF universe. And I think this was book number 3. You need to look this up, but apparently animatronics can possess can have 2 souls in it, multiple souls, essentially, an animatronic can possess. Or they can have no souls whatsoever in them. They can have no souls. And they're just powered by this remnant, which basically is now essentially the essence of somebody with anguish in it. And I'm like, oh. So now agony is just what fills Remnant, basically. There doesn't need to be like a human soul that's trapped in these things. It's just, a moment of agony for the robots. And I'm just like, oh my fucking god. It's not a good idea, Scott, but I'm not the creator of those games. I'm not. I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. It doesn't mess up with the lore or anything. So, basically now with that news in mind, that's how I was gonna do these dinosaurs. But the original idea was to say, and somebody may have gotten this as a hint, but I figured, and this was the strangest thing in my mind, and don't get me wrong, this is very weird. Um, I wanted to make a mix of it with High School DxD and all the characters, and yeah, it sounds weird on paper, but I think I actually did a really decent job. And keep in mind that the pictures I'm actually using are not like preset, pictures that are online, because you don't have that kind of shit. Um, so I actually drew these, surprisingly. Some of them are pretty good. Others are, ugh, they're awful to look at. But I think it gets the main point across as to what the dinosaur is, and based on which character it is. I don't know. I tried my hardest to do it. So we're gonna go quickly through these, just to be obvious. And like I said, if anybody has pointed out, because if anybody notices the thumbnail for the top 13 dinosaurs list that I did way back when, I think it was the 1000th subspecial, you'll know that there's a whole bunch of random fucking dinosaurs that are on that page. And there's a reason why I did this. And now you're gonna understand why they're on there. So, to start off the whole fucking thing, we need to address everybody who's here. It's all the characters except Edina, because Edina, I wanted to make her into a separate game. It's not because I'm a fan of her, no, I'm not. It's just I wanted to make something like a sister location, if you will. So she's not on here, but pretty much everybody else is. And unfortunately, that left me with 9 people, and I'm like, oh boy. That was not a full roster. So I had to add one more additional character to it, and I decided not to add a puppet character. That would have been too much to, I think, ask for me to do that. So I'm going to get through this very, very quickly. So just to lessen the cringe, I think, a little bit, even though the cringe is already set in. So god damn it. Rias is a T-Rex. I don't need to explain this one. Akano is an Allosaurus. Again, not another one that I don't need to explain, because King of all dinosaurs is a T-Rex. Lion of the Jurassic, or the Queen of dinosaurs, if you want to call it that, would be an Allosaurus. So, again, those two very easily explained. The rest I have a little bit of a hard time with. So the next one, Ozia, is a Lieliosaura. Oh god, I probably pronounced that like crap, but whatever. Lieliosaura is was a polar dinosaur that lived in the Australia Antarctic region. So it was a dinosaur that was capable of living in the cold, and it had the similar body structure of a Dryasaurid. And I wanted to do that because not only is Ozia not necessarily a fighter, if you will. I mean, she's a lovable character, don't get me wrong, but she's not capable of fighting at all. But then it also ties into that same dinosaur from Dinosaur King, and it's a grass-moved dinosaur, and it basically gives you like a healing kiss, if you will. So it basically heals you too, and Ozia does the same thing with her ability. She'll heal anybody, which is really cool. So I kind of just put them together. I think I had a hard time figuring out which character she would be, but this was by far the best choice in my mind. Konako is a Sticky Moloch, because I needed something or someone to be a hellish dinosaur, or rather, like, a dinosaur that has a hellish name behind it. That's really what I wanted to do. So, Konako, yes, is a Sticky Moloch, and I'm making her a Sticky Moloch because, the size of the dinosaur already is small enough, but it packs a huge-ass punch. Go watch Fallen Kingdom for that sort of shit. Um, and yeah, I mean, it's crazy to think about that Koniko's a sticky Moloch? What the fuck? Like, yeah. Again, another hard choice I had to make, but that's what I chose. Um, then we go to Golden Freddy, who's Issei Hyoto. He is a Triceratops. Now, reason why I'm saying this is because most ceratopsids, I hate to say it, do have harems. And this is why this makes sense. This is why it makes sense for him to be, essentially Golden Freddy and him being, the harem king and all that. It's perfect. He fits Triceratops perfectly because he defends the other crew members. He's basically Rias's right hand man, if you will, on her team. Even Akeno is like shied away from that. Yeah, but Issei, I figured he'd be a Triceratops easy. He would be a Triceratops, no doubt, in my mind. Um, then Kiba, next one, Kiba, Velociraptor, and I'm doing the legit feathery Velociraptors that are, small pint-sized little chicken birds, if you will. um, so he's a raptor. I mean, he moves pretty fucking quick, which is one thing. And it's just like it was another easy pick for me to make for him to be a Velociraptor. Zenobia. Don't kill me here. She's a Baryonyx. Because she's fucking British. She has a goddamn British accent, that's why I made her a Baryonyx. And plus, Baryonyx is probably one of the biggest predatory dinosaurs from England during the Cretaceous period. I mean, you could look at other ones like, Tarascosaurus, but that was more of a southern European predator, if you will. I was looking more towards England, and England, I guess, also has Megalosaurus, but that's more of a Jurassic predator, and I don't think it would fit her quite right. I just didn't think, oh man, should I go for Megala? And I'm like, no, she's a Baryonyx. Ay, 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 ay. So there's that. Gasper, oh god, the trap. I will admit, he was the hardest to do. I had Dimorphodon, which was in the thumbnail. There, he was a Dimorphodon or Rhamphorhynchus. I also picked Troodon because Troodon is a little creepy, if you will, because I was trying to fit more towards the vampire-esque of his character. And so I decided to go with, and this is a pterosaur I kind of have a hard time pronouncing. Kill me in the comments, when I accidentally say this wrong. But Aerognathus, I think that's what it's called. It's like the little Patinosaur that's seen in with the Diplodocus from Walking with Dinosaurs, and it's also one of it's like a flocked up pterosaurid. If you watch Primeval, it's one of the little mini pterosaurs that flies around in swarms. That's what I was going for, but I was looking more towards the real animal where he looks more like a bat than anything else. It's actually really fucking creepy. These things are more creepy than like the swarm bullshit that Primeval probably gives off. Because, oh my god, I mean, they're fluffy, but that's all I got for them because the face is just, oh god, that gives you nightmares to look at the face of this thing. Oh my god. And I ultimately went with that because it looked more like a vampire-esque, if you will. So, next, and final character, Ross Visa. Again, another really hard character because I was like, okay, what the fuck? Because first of all, she's fucking pathetic. I mean, she is a Valkyrie, but she's fucking pathetic in first season. Then when the fourth season comes out, after her drunken scene, I just went, oh, oh boy. So I immediately thought Brachiosaurus. She absolutely is a Brachiosaurus. Because it's like, it stands there in the background and it's like, there's nothing to worry about. Stomps its feet down. Oh shit, now we have problems. Now there's some problems. Oh boy. And the way, and like, I'm gonna try to, like, maybe if you guys are interested, I'll try to explain how the games were gonna work out. But yeah, Ross Visa being a Brachiosaurus, I totally saw that coming. She's totally that. She's totally that. Like, not powerful on the surface. Like, on the surface, she doesn't look too threatening. Next thing you know, you're down in a ditch that she fucking created. And you're more flat than a goddamn pancake. I'm just saying. Then finally the last one. So, this was a difficult spot, but Indoraptor. And it's it's not the one from Fallen Kingdom. It is the vivid skinned Indoraptor, so it's got like the purple stripe going along the sides of it, if you will. And he's essentially the killer of the series, so he's kind of like Springtrap, if you will. And of course he kind of looks like shit, I'm sorry. So, yeah, there's that one. So, I'm moving on to the next one here, which is I can't walk away from this fucking cringe, now can I? Oh my god, you're fucking killing me! Sorry, yeah, I need to continue the fucking cringe. Top 5 girls I have a crush on. Oh god, here we go. If I didn't make my top 13 favorite females list, the second part of it with the ending parts, matured rating, then you guys would already know. But you don't. Because a lot of you can't access mature rated content. Oh boy. Here we go. Here we go. Now, I did cheat a lot in this one because I wasn't. First of all, I couldn't really think of anything for this one, and secondly, you might kill me in the comment section here, but first one that comes to mind, Toki and Toa from Time and Eternity. Now, they count because they're two different people. Got it. Which should shorten this list, but no. I put them as bodies. You need to have one body. They should have the same body, so I count the bodies. Which doesn't sound creepy at all for me to say. But I count bodies. I count bodies, not souls or any of that bullshit. If you have a body, and you're sharing that same body, you're one character, basically. You are one character, essentially. And that's where I cheated. And here's the second cheat that I did, because I didn't want to go any further with this. Rhys Gremory, Akano, and Ozia. Oh boy, here we go. So, with Rhys, top tier girl from that show, and honestly, if I were to blurt out, like, which girl is your favorite, I'm like, I would say Toki and Toa, but hardly anybody knows Time and Eternity all that well, so I'm like, yeah, I need to think of another one quick. So, yeah, but not only that, but she's a great character overall, and I touched upon this with the Q&A meme. She's absolutely a great leader. She's very caring. She's a very nice individual, very nice person. Oh my god, and then I don't want to get into the extra finite details that everybody and their mother probably already knows why I like her. I ain't doing it. I ain't doing it, but honestly, her character's great. I mean, the only one thing that I don't necessarily like from her is that the fact that she's not too open, and that she feels like, in terms with Issei, it's just like she feels like she's not included. And I'm just like, really, girl? Really? You can't see the signs? But then again, yeah, Issei is about as clueless as certain somebody here. Oh boy, did I just point myself out? Fuck! Yeah, I'm terrible. But Rias is like top tier girl that I absolutely do like from the anime herself. And you guys already know the extra finite details. I mean, other than the fact that redheads, any kind of redhead girls, just turn me on for some reason. Redhead girl lets her hair flow down, instant, just instant, and you know that now. Oh boy, I'm gonna get a lot of shots fired here, aren't I? Oh boy. Next is Akana, which surprisingly enough, and I may actually ruin somebody else here and throw him down the pipe, but I showed him High School DxD as well, and he actually likes Akano for some reason. I can totally understand why, because same reasons as Rios. Except she's a little more seductive than her, and she's a sadist. Oh, yeah, that kills. And and that's the reason why she's like not higher. I'm like, she's a sadist. Mm-mm. No. Mm-mm. Mm-mm. I mean, I'd like to have that happen, but no, get that out of here. Get that shit out. Get that shit out of here. And the funny thing with the High School DxD fan base is that they're always debating like who's best girl, and it's always between Rias and Akano. It's just like, I'm not gonna go into this. That's like, I'm trying to avoid this shit as best as possible because I'm just here for the characters and for the other shit that they add on, which surprisingly enough makes me more religious. I don't get it. I just somehow don't get why, but Um, which leads me to the final character from that series, Ozia. Oh, oh my god, she is so goddamn sweet. It's not even funny. It's like if you went to Wawa and you bought those like smoothies without yogurt or anything on it, you just drink that shit down. It's like that's what Ozia is in a nutshell. She is so goddamn sweet. It's not even humanly possible. It's not humanly possible to have that much sweetness in a girl like this. But she pulls it off, and it's cute. She's absolutely cute. I I might have a weak spot. I do have a weak spot, and she's kind of a religious girl too. And between her and Zenobia, it's just like I'm with Ozzy. I'm sorry. That was so goddamn terrible. Okay. Oh boy. But I wanted to make this fair and not put anime on here because, as somebody neatly told me, God, I keep bringing that up. I'm sorry, guys. It annoys the shit out of me when somebody like yells at me for being a weeb, and I'm really not. I'm not. To be honest, I'm really not. But it still kills me with with that kind of comment. But still, last one I pick, Sarah Harding. Oh, and I touched upon her too as well in the Q&A video. We can spend hours talking about paleo behavior. It's not funny. And I love how she's so determined to basically tell the other men who have worked in the paleontology field for so many years that their theories are wrong. Oh my god. Oh my god. It's so cool. And the fact that she's also Dr. Jerry Harding's daughter too, and he's the guy that worked on the if you guys are not fans of Jurassic Park like he's the guy that worked on the Triceratops in the first movie. Yeah, that's his daughter. Oh, and he's a vet too from Jurassic Park. Oh my god. Yes, please. And she's worked with a lot of African predators too with their behavior. It's just oh my god. And what pisses me off is that she is Ian Malcolm's girlfriend. And, Ian Malcolm is such a fucking paranoid piece of shit. It's like, let her do this. I know she's a little dumb to wear a jacket with the baby T-Rex's blood on it, but can you blame her? Can you blame her? No, you really can't. Oh my god, but still. I'm crazy for her. I really am. I really am crazy for this girl. Claire, on the other hand, Claire's getting close. Claire was like second place. I mean, I still hate her from the beginning of Jurassic World. I really do. But no one will beat Sarah Harding. I mean, Claire is getting up there because after her events in Fallen Kingdom, and she's kind of turning into this conservationist route, like what John Hammond did in the second movie. It's just like, no. Claire, you may try, but you'll never beat her. You'll never beat her. Also, like I said again, redheads turn me on. Alright, there you go. I've said it. I said it. Fuck. Which means that now it needs to be M-rated. God damn it. Hopefully it shouldn't be M-rated. It shouldn't be, but we're gonna go with it. We're gonna go with it. We'll see what happens. Alright, next meme. Ah, there we go. Thank God. What is it? Top 10? Yep, top 10. Top 10 favorite Disney songs. Okay. Now, I already touched upon this in my 2,500 sub special with my favorite songs of all time, And one of the categories was Disney. So, from that video, you can already tell which one is my favorite. You already know which one's my favorite, which is Digatana from Lion King 1.5. Which I don't need to explain again because I already go into full-blown detail about it in that video. But I guess in short, I want to say that it's a song that's very personal to me, and it's been crammed into my head for so many years that when we go to zoo, it's like the song immediately plays when there's a meerkat exhibit. That's all I'm going to go through. It's just to make it nice, short, and sweet. Other songs that I did mention were Two Worlds from Tarzan. I mean, basically any song from that movie was pretty good. But Two Worlds, I think, is still one of my favorite songs from Tarzan. Zero to Hero. Again, that one doesn't need to be explained because that song freaking slaps. Oliver, Why Should I Worry from Oliver and Company, again, is another song that sticks in your head all day the second you hear it. And then Shiny is another really good song. There's actually a remix of Shiny. I don't know who it's. I don't quite remember who, like, the artist who did the remake for the song, but it's in a much darker tone, and it's just like, ooh, that song feels so much better than, the original version of Shiny. But again, like I said before, I am not on the same god tier level as Shaperless, so I cannot do that song any justice, if you will. So, what are the other, let's see here, 1, 2, 3, 4, what are my other 5 songs that I put on here? Well, here we go. First one I want to go through are the both Brother Bear movies. So Brother Bear 1 and Brother Bear 2. Yes, there's a second one, and trust me, the second one is not as good as the first. And I'm not saying that just because, it's sequel. No, I just personally feel like it doesn't have the same energy as the first movie does. Um, Plus, it feels a little unnecessary because it adds another relationship to Kenai, which we didn't really need. But I'm gonna let that shit slide. We don't need to discuss that shit. So, first Brother Bear is the transformation song. Now, this song is really cool because it utilizes the native language in the song, and there is an English version of the song by Phil Collins where it basically fills in what the native language is saying in that scene, and it's also really great to listen to that one too. There were a lot of other songs that I wanted to put in that Brother Bear slot, like On My Way, but I was like, let's not go there. Um, for Brother Bear 2, it's Welcome to This Day, which I'm afraid to put on this, to put the actual song on here, but it's another really great song, and I like it for some reason. It kind of has the same vibes as Two Worlds, but it's weird. It's weird. I can't explain why I like that one so much. Then, oh, Jesus Christ, here we go again. Stir It Up from Chicken Level. And before you do ask, yes, I seen that abomination of a video. Oh boy. That fucking thing traumatized me, I swear to God. So yes, if you are unaware, there is a quote unquote Rule 34 on Nintendo, and the song that's being played on here is this song. And I'm just like, I watched Chicken Little as a kid. I really did. And I liked the song when it came out. There was no, lewd Nintendo video that needed to, be placed out there. Already loved the song as it was from the movie, but it kills me now to know that this is how this song is remembered, and this is how this movie is remembered, is because of that video. I'm just like, oh no! Don't do this! The people already fucking did it anyway, so I have to let that shit go. Great. It's oh my god. The song is great in the movie. It is. It is. It's a jam from that movie, and I love it. But nowadays, when I read through the comment section of that video just to listen to the song fully again, it's just flooded with the horrible memories that I want to get rid of. And that needs to be burnt in hell. Oh my god. I'm moving on. Next is Lilo and Stitch, and you think Hawaiian roller, and you're gonna think, oh, small picked Hawaiian roller coaster ride. Ha! Got you there. Like, no, I didn't. Because that song is so overly used as a college song, and I'm not even fucking kidding. It's like every druggie in the world listens to this fucking song. Or at least where I stand. Every druggie that I know of from college always plays this song on when they're at a party. And I'm just like, are you goddamn kidding me? And it's regardless of whether they like Lilo and Stitch or not. It's just like, oh my god, fucking please stop. So it's the first song that's played in this movie. It's Himilio no Lilo, I think is what it's called. I may have butchered it, but it's a song that's steeped in the Hawaiian language, and the reason why I like this song is probably the same reason why people like Hawaiian Roller Coaster Ride. It's because I feel like I'm on the goddamn beach somewhere. It's just like in my mind, I'm like, yep, I'm on something sandy and water that all around. I just like I feel good. I feel good. I'm like on some tropical island. I feel good. So there's that song. And then the last one, I'm Still Here from Treasure Planet. Now, surprisingly, and this might kill a friend of mine that I know of who she absolutely loves Treasure Planet. I've never seen Treasure Planet before, but I am aware of this song. And oh god, this song is phenomenal. It's like I wish the movie did, I guess, a little bit better. I mean, I haven't seen it, but with this song being in it, I'm like, why was it not good? It makes me question like why the movie wasn't good. And it's probably because maybe I haven't watched it yet and I don't have an opinion towards this film quite yet, but I mean this fucking song is absolutely beautiful and I love it. It's just like I again, it's one of those songs I really can't explain, but it's really well done and it's just like oh man, it's deep. It's a deep song if you really give it a listen. Um, but yeah, there's that list all done, nicely and neatly put. Now, next one. Oh, geez, here we go. Here's some fun for you. Top 10 Universal films. Well, already 5 of them are, or 6 of them are already. Wait, hold on. Making sure. um, wait, hold on. I'm making sure my placements are right, are all good. Yeah, no, all 5, like 5 slots are already taken. Jurassic Park, Lost World, Jurassic Park JP3, Jurassic World, and Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom. Since Dominion has not come out, we can tick that off. Since Dominion's not out, we'll tick Dominion off. We won't add Dominion, but to make it fair. To make this sort of fair, um, oh my god. Ay, ay, ay. But to bring up from part 1, I'm going to add Jim Carrey's The Grinch to this list because it is another Christmas film I absolutely do like to watch all the time. It's a really great film. Um, and I don't need to further explain why I like it so much. Um, Next one, Warcraft. Now, I've already done a review on Warcraft already, and yeah, I get the complaints from Warcraft a little, because it is a little too referencey of a film. Like, you need to get the references. But I still like Warcraft. I'm a little bit of a Warcraft nerd, as you already know. And that's kind of why I like that movie. It's not, like, top tier level, but it's still pretty good, I think. Then to the other 3 slots. All right. First one, Army of Darkness. You may be like this may be a shocker to a lot of people, but oh my god, Army of Darkness. The second I watched it, I was having a ball. I mean, like you'd be surprised, but I really, really like that movie. I don't know why. I will never understand why. But Army of Darkness is great. It's a great comedic film. It reminds me a little of Monty Python and the Holy Grail a little bit, but add some like actiony dude, which is Ash in that case. Um, but oh my god, oh that movie is so good. It's such a kick-ass horror movie. To which I say, speaking of which, Van Helsing. Yep, yep. And I've really wanted to review Van Helsing on the channel for a long time, but YouTube has been, let's just say, has been very harsh to me every time I upload anything about Van Helsing. So it's hard for me to, like, actually post the review up on there without it being taken down immediately. Because I'm using, like, trailer footage. Um, which sucks. It really sucks. Because I really want to review it on the channel, but I'll never get the chance to do it. But Van Helsing is one of those movies, again, like Army of Darkness, is like on Halloween, I need to watch it. It's a great film to sit through. Um, Basically, the designs of the monsters look really goddamn phenomenal. It's like, and this is the movie that confused me with Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. It's like, what? I didn't know Hyde was like, because I never read Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. I think that's probably the better pronunciation for it. Um, but Jesus Christ, I never expected him to be, something itty bitty like this with Mr. Hyde. Not this massive hulking monster, because, oh my god. I was fooled for so many years by Van Helsing, it wasn't even funny. But again, I probably should have known better. But anyways, it's another really great film. I like it. I really like it. Except for the creepy, the vampire brides with Dracula. That's a little, no, that's a little unnecessary. But I guess it makes sense because they need to breed in order to like have all these, little baby vampires. But that's besides my point. So, last movie. Now, you may question me on this, but it's Central Intelligence. Surprisingly, and I will never understand this, but The Rock Johnson and Kevin Hart, I never understand it, but they always have such good chemistry with one another that it's not funny. I'm pretty sure they're friends. Like, in terms of actors, they're pretty much friends, I think. But whenever they're in like a movie together, it's like they work out beautifully together, and I swear to God, they are such a comedic pair. It's not even funny. It's not funny. Well, this movie is funny, but oh my God. I mean, outside of some of the racist jokes that are probably in there, I don't pick up on them, thankfully. But the movie overall is just funny, and it's like, hate me all you want. I love the movie because it's funny and it has a little bit of action into it. But that's why you have The Rock Johnson in anything, because he's too beefed up of a dude to even do something small. It's like putting Arnold Schwarzenegger in anything. It's like, come on, both dudes are beefy as hell. It's like you can't put them in something simple. They have to have like a military background behind them or something like that. I don't know, but oh my god, Central Intelligence is one of those movies that I'll pop on every so often and just sit through and watch, and it's like I'll have a good time with it. I do have a good time with this movie. So there you go, the 10 movies from Universal. Now, ooh, interesting. Top 10 shows I'd recommend to people. First three you probably already know. Lost Tapes, I recommend because it is a really good found footage, cryptid, whatever the hell you want to call it, show. Um, I absolutely love it. I'm a fan of it, as you all know. And you come to this channel probably mostly because it's Lost Tapes. Um, Second show I recommend, Dinosaur King. I get it, it's a fucking anime, and I'm sick and tired of basically throwing out animes for you to watch, but this is the only one I'll tell you to watch that you need to watch. If you're a dinosaur fan, you need to watch this show because this will expand your knowledge as to how many more dinosaurs are out there, minus all the encyclopedia books they give you. It's like, oh my god. I mean, some things are a little outdated from that show, but I'm not going to get into the nitty gritty of it. And then I'd recommend you watch Mountain Monsters, despite it being, stupid. as I have called it multiple times. It's dumb. It's dumb, but it's turn your brain off kind of fun. All right, all right. It's I love the show because it's dumb, but I love it. I absolutely love it. So next few ones I think are a little obvious. I recommend you watch The Mandalorian if you do not have Disney Plus. It's like if that is your like the big reason, like it's only for one show, Smaug. It's only for one show, and I'm like, but this is a great fucking show. This is awesome. This is better than watching the fucking sequels in the goddamn theaters, which makes me utterly disappointed that one TV show by Disney can kick all three of their mainline movies asses, and the other two offshoot films, which were Rogue One and Solo. Which Solo, what the fuck was happening in Solo? I don't fucking care. Um, but it's just like, oh my god. And if you're saying, like I said before, oh, well, if The Mandalorian is so good, then what the hell else is on there that you could recommend? I recommend you watch The Clone Wars. That's another show I'm recommending because it makes the prequels look a lot better. I mean, the prequels are bad, sure, but because the Clone Wars exists, it makes the show so much better. It makes Revenge of the Sith and Attack of the Clones seem a lot better than they actually are, even though I don't like Attack of the Clones still. But still, you need to give Clone Wars, and especially the new season that came out, which has been out for quite a while, if I'm going to be honest. I recommend you just watch those two shows, period. If you're a Star Wars fan and you're sick and tired of the bullshit movies that Disney keeps throwing out, then watch the TV shows that they produce. Because that is where the good canon shit for Star Wars is. That's where the good shit is. Enough about that rant. I'm going to keep going. So, next thing I'm going to recommend is House MD. It's a really unique medical show, and if you're working towards, especially if you're going to be doctors or nurses, you need to kind of watch this show because the diagnoses that are in this show are pretty damn unique. And it goes through a lot of some of the work that goes into being a nurse or a doctor. Like sometimes there's one episode where they misidentified a patient, and the patient was given wrong treatment, and that patient dies. Which, yeah, it sucks, but that's kind of the work that you need to go through. Unfortunately, people make mistakes. Or, as this show likes to remind everybody lies. And there's a lot of times in this show where patients will lie about their family history, the all the medical procedures they've had over the years. It's crazy. This show is absolutely crazy, and it's kind of funny at times. That's kind of why I got hooked into the show to begin with, because it's just funny. But it's very scientific. It deals with a lot of the medical practices that go on in that sort of field. So I highly recommend actually you watch that show too. It's a really good one. The next show I want to present is Primeval. I mean, outside of Britain, you probably don't know what the hell this show is, except for me mentioning it a few times, especially during the first part of the meme video. But to basically sum it up, it's creatures that are from the past and some futuristic creatures come into the present through these light anomalies in Britain, And these group of people, of scientists, go out and basically either push them back into their native period, or basically kill it to prevent everybody else from knowing. And some of the creatures they do technically keep on the show, and some of the creatures are a little inaccurate, like the big example being Draco Rex. The Draco Rex is, oh, that is not a Draco Rex. That is so not a Draco Rex. It's way too big. It looks too much like a dragon, but I'm not gonna bitch about it. Primeval's a good show. I'd recommend you watch it. But what I'm gonna tell you is I don't recommend you watch the Canadian remake of the show called Primeval New World. Do not watch it because it's garbage. I just saw it this week and it's garbage. Oh, it's hot garbage. Trust me, you don't want to watch this. But my one downside to Primeval, before I move on, my one downside to Primeval is that there is a little too much drama. Because I get it, it is a drama show. It's a drama show, but I mean, the creatures outweigh a lot of the drama that happens in the show, and sometimes the drama from the show is a little, it's a little dry, a little boring. But overall, because of the science behind the show and the creatures that come in from the show, like mostly the future ones, the mutant mantis things, the camo beast, the future predators, which are the most iconic from that series, is the future predator. Really cool designs for future animals. It's really cool. I recommend you watch Primeval. Next show I'm going to recommend, Ghost Adventures. Now, Ghost Adventures it had an okay start, but then when you get to like the middle shit is where it's really good. The middle part of the show, besides the beginning and what's currently being made now, the middle stuff is where it's all good. You watch any of those episodes from the middle, they're really good. They're absolutely fantastic. Beginning seasons were a little rough. And towards the ending here, it's like they don't have much more adventures to go through. It's more just reviewing their old footage and shit. Which I'm not really interested in doing any of that. So other than the unrevealed stuff that they have, it's okay. It's like there was this show that I watched as a kid called The Other Siders. It's something similar to that, but it's more adult oriented, and the guys on there are actually pretty interesting. And it deals with a lot of the paranormal stuff. So if you're looking for a show that's more paranormal, and it's really damn close to getting like actual evidence from there, that's the show I recommend you watch. But it has gone downhill a little bit, and its uphill start was a little rusty. But if you watch the middle stuff, I think you'll be good. I think you'll actually like watching the series as a whole. Next one, and I cannot stress this show enough. The Zoo. I don't need to explain anymore other than this is my fucking job. Basically, The Zoo is a show that bases around, depending on which series you're watching, is either the Bronx Zoo that's in New York or the San Diego Park Zoological Park that's in San Diego. And they base the premise of the show is basically to show everybody behind the scenes as to what the hell is going on in a zoo. And that's simple enough. And I'm learning from this show. I'm actually learning more from this show than what the fucking university's teaching me, which is kind of sad. But it's like one thing they don't talk about the show is the amount of paperwork the amount of paperwork that needs to be done with running a zoo. Oh boy. But other than that, the show is just the show is just amazing. It really is. And I get why some people can't watch this show, and that's because they don't have cable, which would show Animal Planet. I get it. But if you have the chance, I I'm serious. Really check out this show if you are just a zoo fan like myself or you're a zookeeper yourself. I recommend you watch this movie or watch this show because seriously, this is your job you're watching on television. This is your job. This is what you do every day when it comes to taking care of the animals that you work with, which I love. I love this show. I absolutely love this show. It basically prepared me for anything that might come up, which sadly enough, the one thing that I'm going to be having issues with is a lot of the because basically being a zookeeper also feels like you're a vet assistant. So it's weird. It's weird. Basically, you're a vet assistant in a zoo. That's basically what it feels like. So try burying that image in your brain. Um, but yeah, still no. I recommend you watch this show. Just give me a second. Jesus. Last show I'm going to recommend. Now, this might be cheating because this is more of a documentary series than anything. And no, it's not The Tiger King because everybody and their mother will recommend that shit. Stop it. Stop assuming. It's actually Prehistoric Park. Now, all of you dinosaur fans that are on my channel, you're going to say, oh yeah, that's good. And I'm like, oh, I can't agree. I can't agree more. For those of you who are completely oblivious as to what Prehistoric Park is, basically the premise of the show is that this actual zoological dude named Nigel Marvin, goes in to prehistoric settings and tries to capture a prehistoric animal and then bring it back to the present to give them a second chance. Haha, funny enough, that's how the line of the show goes. And he has this reserve that's in Africa where he's taking care of all these prehistoric animals. It's really cool. I really like the show because it kind of has that mixture of Jurassic Park, if you will. It's a very Jurassic Park-esque kind of documentary series. And it kind of teaches like people like the really interesting stuff with the dinosaur or prehistoric animal itself, because he doesn't only just capture dinosaurs, he captures prehistoric mammals, and then and then in one whole episode he's captured several different carboniferous insects in there. So that's really cool. Actually, I shouldn't count them as insects; they're more arthropods, but still, whatever. It's a really good documentary series that I highly, highly recommend you watch. It's so good. I mean, some of the designs are a little but please watch that show. You will not regret me. When you watch Prehistoric Park, you won't regret it. You won't. Because it's pretty damn good. My only complaint about it is I want fucking more. I want more, and they don't give me another season or anything. It's one whole season. It's like 8 or 9 episodes. That's it. And I'm like, oh, come on. It's like you could so continue this, but you don't. Ah, man. But again, those are all the shows I can recommend. Alright, here we go. Top 15 favorite Disney movies. Here we go. Already mentioned Brother Bear 2, already on there. Not my favorites, like not my total favorites. I think that honor will go to Hercules because I swear to God that movie's a family gem, if you will. Um, but Hercules is another one. Tarzan's another good one. Oliver and Company's another good one. Um, Big Hero 6 is one of them. Lion King 1.5 is another good one. And if you kind of already guessed, like, my love for dinosaurs, Disney's Dinosaur is another good one that I like. So already, that's a good chunk off the list. So what am I left with? First one. Cars. Cars is a little awkward to talk about because I know a whole lot of people do not like Cars as a franchise. Trust me, I can't agree with you more. But the first movie is kind of like this odd, really good, well created storm that the other two sequels from there couldn't, like, equal up to. Maybe 3 could, but 3 was awkward at places, in my eyes. But the first Cars movie stands out a lot. It really does. It's not my favorite Pixar movie, I don't think. I think there's others that I think are really good, but it's okay. This one's okay. Um, Next thing, Lilo and Stitch. I actually do like this movie, despite what other people, think about it. Lilo and Stitch, the movie is great. Overall, I just love Stitch, and Lilo's a little, but it's okay. I actually kind of like this movie, but the countless sequels and the television shows that it spawned from this, I think was a bit much. Even the ride over at Magic Kingdom, Stitch's Great Escape, was even a bit too much. I think Disney tried to pour in so much love to Lilo and Stitch that it wasn't even funny anymore, and they just flat out cut it. They killed it. They killed it. They're like, get that shit out of here. Then surprisingly, the original Lion King. Yeah, that kind of makes me a little bit of a hypocrite, doesn't it? Not putting in Lion King 2 here, you know. But nothing will compare to the original Lion King. I'm saying original because when you type Lion King nowadays, it'll be the fucking remake, which is god awful. Don't you dare try to defend the remake. I swear to God. The remake's awful. We all know that. But the OG version, it won't be touched. It will never be touched. Disney can't even remake it to be that good. It can't. It can't touch the movie. Not even Disney can touch The Lion King. It really can't. So speaking from the Renaissance period of Disney, which is when Lion King came out, I'll talk about Beauty and the Beast for a second, which also had a disappointing remake, if I'm going to be honest. I hate Beauty and the Beast remade. I don't care if Hermione is in that movie. I don't care. I don't care. I don't care if she could bloody sing, which is a shocker to me. It's just a movie, like with The Lion King, Disney can't even touch another classic without fucking it up. They can't do it. They can't pull it off. The only classic movie that they were able to remake and pull it off was The Jungle Book. I actually kind of like the Jungle Book remake, but it's not on here. But that's the only classic Disney movie that they can touch. and fix and make it better than the OG. Those two movies, can't touch them. And I guess I should say, like, why is Beauty and the Beast on here? It's like Beauty and the Beast is another family thing. And Mother of Dragons and Mother of Dragons 2, they both really love this Disney movie. And I don't want to argue. I can't argue because it is a really well done film. I can't argue. I cannot argue. I even had to rewatch this movie for Tales of the Dark Side again. And again, it's just like it all floods back to me. It's just one really great film. I guess I really don't need to explain myself. And then here we go. And the next three are going to be a little harsh. Wreck-It Ralph. And the first Wreck-It Ralph, because I did watch the second one, and I went, oh, how far have you fallen? But I really, really like the first Wreck-It Ralph film. It's a gamer movies galore. I love it. And then, like, the characters from there, oh my god. It's just, the story was just fit and so well done that I just, like, it's a great fucking movie. And it's funny as hell, too, with especially the candy people and all the names of the food, like the Oreo Knights and the Devil Dogs actually being Devil Dogs. Oh my god. Oh, Jesus Christ. That movie is just so goddamn fun. It's, and I guess there's kind of a theme here too, that the more funny a Disney movie is, the better I usually like it. Because this is kind of why Big Hero 6 is on here, because Baymax already alone just sells it for me, and he's funny as shit with a lot of his lines. I can't. And this probably has to be the king of all the funny movies, and that's Emperor's New Groove. Oh, it's like, at first when I was a kid, I couldn't understand the jokes, because the jokes went whoosh, flying. They went flying over my head, but now that I'm an adult, and I rewatched this movie a couple of times, it's actually pretty fucking good. It is, what everybody has told me, comedy gold. It is just comedy gold. It's, and I can't blame you. I love Emperor's New Groove because the jokes just sink in. Even the one joke where it was the squirrel that popped the balloon, and Cusco in his llama form, where all these jaguars are in there with him, he goes, ha! And all the jaguars wake up from that instead of the popped balloon. Oh my god. Oh, and then the other quote. Oh god, I need to remember that. Uh-oh. Don't tell me. We're about to go over a huge waterfall. Yep. Sharp rocks at the bottom.
Most likely.
Bring it on. Oh my god. Oh my god, that fucking movie is just, it's so good. Oh, I quote a lot of shit from that movie too. It's funny. It's really funny. But then the last one, which may come as a surprise, is Bambi 2. Yeah. It's like, comparing the OG Bambi and this Bambi, I'm like, I like the second one better. Because it's like, because with Bambi 2, it's like that middle section that you don't see in the original Bambi. And Bambi and, the Lord of the Forest, or his adopted dad, as if you will. I like the relationship between them, which we don't see, and then you get to see the little bit of the rivalry with the other deer in there. I forget his name, but then there's also a fucking great YouTube poop about this movie. Oh my god! And you know where I cut the footage sometimes, and it says doggone it. That's where it's from. That's where I got it from. Is that one YouTube poop with which basically involved Bambi 2. But otherwise, Bambi 2 is an okay film. I mean, I guess I feel like it's slightly better than its classic film. The first Bambi. Um, because really, all I remember from the first Bambi was the beginning of the film with Bambi being born. He's being introduced to Thumper and Flower, and then Bambi's mom dying. Bambi crying out for his mom. You see the dad of the forest, and then he grows up, and then I don't remember the rest of the film after Bambi grew up and that sort of shit happened. Um, but at least with Bambi 2, it feels like this middle chapter that just got cut out of the book from the first movie. So it's kind of a nice touch. It's kind of a nice touch. So there's that one. And the last one I will be doing for today. Oh boy, here we go. The controversy meme for Disney. Let's get this fucking party started. Now, a lot of you are probably going to diss on me the second I do these, because I'm going to go through them very quickly. But, here we go. When I went for favorite character, I immediately thought, ooh, villains. But then I looked below and it said favorite villain. I know it's hard to tell in this, but there it is. It says favorite villain. I'm like, crap. It's favorite protagonist, isn't it? And I didn't want to go for immediately Hercules, because I ain't doing that. I'm not gonna pull this. So instead, I actually went with oh boy, and this is why it's controversy. I went with Tow Mater from Cars. And the reason why I say Tow Mater, is because I'll never understand why. I guess, well, really, you guys will never understand why I love Tow Mater so much. But I think the big reason why I love Tow Mater so damn much is because he's voiced by Larry the Cable Guy, of all people. Out of all the people in the world you could do, you put Larry the Cable Guy. What the hell? I'm like, it strangely fits with Tow Mater, but I'm like, yeah, no. So I'm not gonna go there. I'm not gonna go there as to explain why, other than the fact that Tow Mater in the original Cars is really funny, and dare I say it, even in the second one, he's at least decent. I mean, he's less funny in the second one, but he gets a more prominent role in Cars 2, which I really don't want to rewatch that shit again. That was awful. And I'm gonna continue to go through favorites because I'm not gonna go there. I'm not gonna go there because you'll see how bad this goes. So I'm gonna skip on a few things because a lot of these things are pretty much the same. So I'm just gonna skip out on some things for now. Favorite Disney villain immediately goes to Hades from Hercules. I love the fucking dude. I love the dude. That is like my interpretation of Hades overall. If I ever need to bring up Greek mythology, that's the Hades I think of. Not the, God of War version of Hades, which looks pretty goddamn cool. Or hell, even the High School DxD version of Hades, which looks a little fucking creepy, if I'm gonna be honest. I don't like that Hades. Like, get that shit out of here. Because he looks more like a fucking lich than anything. I'm like, no, no, get that thing out of here. At least with God of War, that version of Hades is kick ass. You're not gonna, like, I'm not gonna lie, that version of Hades is kick ass. But this version of Hades, Disney's Hercules Hades, is a sweet talking son of a bitch. And that's who I think about Hades, because Hades in Greek mythology is more of this deal swinger, kind of like Bwonsamdi in a way, but not as creepy looking, in my mind, as Bwonsamdi. But oh my god, and the actor who plays Hades plays it so damn well that even the movie Hercules needed to work with the voice actor for him, and it's like, oh my god, I love it. I just love Hades, period. Even in Kingdom Hearts, which I've never really played a Kingdom Hearts game, even though a lot of people have told me to play one. Hades is, let's just say, has a more prominent role in some of the Kingdom Heart games, and it's just like, I love that. I sign in because it's fucking Hades. It's just Hades. Hades exists. I'm like, I'm there. I'm his wingman right there. And he says a lot of funny shit too, which is what I really like about Hades. Despised villain. Ooh. Professor Callahan from Big Hero 6. I think we already knew why. Because he's so unmoved by his prize student being killed that it's now a literal fucking meme of him saying, that was his mistake. I'm like, a villain with no remorse. No remorse. And at the beginning of the film, or at the beginning of the movie, he was fine. He loved his students. What the fuck? It's like the character went with a complete 180 because that's what the film wants you to think. It's like, oh my god, please, no. Hate this villain more than any other villain because he is just, he's trash. He is so trash. It's like with any other villain could have done so much better. Any other fucking Disney villain could have done better than him. And it sucks. Oy, oy, oy. Favorite movie I've already touched upon, Disney's Hercules. Flat out. It's a family thing. And you know what? Honestly, I'm not going to go into the details as to why I love Hercules so much, because that would take me all fucking day to do. Most underrated movie. I'm going to say Lion King 1.5 is the most underrated film. Because, like I said before, it's the worst Lion King movie, animated film, so to speak. But at least I gave it a chance, and it's actually pretty damn decent. Nobody's willing to give this movie a second chance and look through it again. And it sucks. Favorite Disney song I've already covered is Digatana from that same movie. Already know that. And then the last one that is gonna be, not a non-shocker here. Most underrated character. And you'll be surprised by this, but I'm gonna say Venny from Atlantis. And to most people here, they're like, fucking Atlantis? What the hell? You watched that? And I'm like, I was just curious one day, sitting through watching the movie, like once, maybe twice. But when this character came on, I was like, shit, this guy is fucking gold. This guy is gold, man. Come on. And nobody brings him up either. like, because he's like the demolition dude, in the movie, and he plays partially the villain at first, but then he's good guy after Milo basically fucking, you know, discredits the general dude who looks like a discounted Clayton. If I'm gonna be honest, he was almost placed into my despised villains roster, but then Callahan just blew it out of the water for him. Because at least the villain from Atlantis is a discounted Clayton, and Clayton is at least decent of a Disney villain. But Venny, oh my god, every fucking word that guy says is just hilarious. Even though he gets like 5, maybe 6 lines of dialogue in the whole film, he's fucking great. He's fucking great. I want to hang out with him, honestly. Because he feels like he's partially a joke, even though the comedic role goes to Mole. But I'm like, Mole's not funny. Mole's not funny. But Venny absolutely is. Everything he says is just pure gold. And here is where everything falls apart. Oh boy. Let's start with the most despised movie, which is also my most overrated movie. Dare I say it here, but it's fucking Frozen. Oh my god. And I want to say this. The message behind Frozen is good. I get it. It's great. But the movie overall is so milked. Oh my god. It makes me want to fucking die every time I want to watch it. It makes me want to fucking die. It's like, I would rather watch High School DxD than this shit. I'm so fucking serious. Because at least with that, you get some good fucking action. In this shit, you don't even get that. I mean, Olaf's at least okay at times, and maybe he says 1 or 2 funny lines, which gave me a bit of a chuckle. But the movie is just like, no, I can't. This movie is just, here we go. Despised character and most overrated. Elsa is Elsa. Jesus Christ. I get how she wants to be let alone because her parents, basically locked her up and told her, don't do this shit. Don't use your ice powers or shit because you almost killed your sister by doing that. Got it. But it's just like, especially with the second Frozen movie, which I didn't even watch, but I've already heard people talk about it. She's somehow worse in that one than she is in the first one. Disney, how? How? You have been milking this character for years. Basically to a point where she's run dry. And that her second appearance doesn't even help. It just goes to show my point on how this movie is too overrated. I love the message, but again, I want to reiterate. Love the message behind it. And for how many times I have to watch it in psychology, it's not even funny. It's on the same par with Inside Out. But Jesus Christ, it just makes me want to die. Makes me want to die watching this movie. Can't. So you already know what my most despised song is. It's Let It Go. Oh my god. Let It Go for me is like Justin Bieber's Baby. Those 2 songs I absolutely fucking hate. Nothing in this world will make me more angry than those 2 fucking songs. And I get it, Justin Bieber's Baby was a little too popular for its own belief and half. But it's the same problem with Let It Go. It's too overly milked that it's not funny. This is no longer a joke anymore. It's just, it's sad, is what it is. It's sad. It's so much goddamn frustration about Frozen. It's just, I don't want to diss on Frozen. I really don't. But this makes me have no fucking choice. Frozen, I get it, then I'm not.
This was a mistake!
Yeah, sorry guys. The camera cut out when I was talking about it, but I've had a few minutes to reconciliate with myself. And let's just say I still don't like Frozen. I really don't. I think it is just too overrated, and I don't want to sound like one of those jackasses that disses on this film, but again, I think it's too overly used. It's just a movie I do not like, period. And I get it, people are entitled to their opinions and whatnot, but I just don't like this movie. And you think, in the back of your mind, really, Smell, stop fooling us that you actually do like this film. No, I don't. I'm telling the fucking truth. I really do not like this movie. It's just, it's milked so often. It's more milked than any other fucking movie that's that I know about. And it's like good for Disney, but when your own sequel can't even pull off something that the original could do, it's like this is it's a problem. It is an absolute problem. I just didn't want to milk in my hate for this film. I really didn't want to milk my hate that much because my hate for this film runs deeper than that. So it's just, I'm just gonna close this video off now. I didn't mean to leave this off on a disappointing note, but again, this is the kind of world we're living in right now. Is full of disappointment. So anyways, that's about it. See ya.